And that was our look at the currency market to begin the program week with. We are starting a brand new week with the dollar selling at over 15 cedis, and the situation just gets worse as more pressure mounts on government to act. Today, the Information Minister Kwawu Nkrumah has hinted the Bank of Ghana will be meeting with managing directors of banks and heads of Forex Bureau associations to discuss how supply of Forex can be stabilized and tackle issues of overpricing. Take a listen.
You would recall that right from the beginning of this year, government has been updating the country on some key economic matters. You recall in April, or just at the end of March, when Cabinet held its first quarter retreat, I updated you all on the kind of economic pressures that we were of the view was going to befall us because of what was going on, and some of the measures that the government was introducing right at that time to help containment. That's where we introduced the cuts to budget and a few other measures as addressed by the finance minister. At the end of the second quarter, when Cabinet held its retreat and the president had the opportunity to see the numbers again, you recall the president instructed that we start negotiations with the International Monetary Fund. And so the statement was released on, I think, the 1st of July, just after the second quarter retreat. Since then, there have been a lot of engagements with the fund, and a number of statements have been released to update the Ghanaian public on how that is going, and it's going pretty well. This week, as we are coming to the end of the third quarter period, going into the final quarter fully, tomorrow morning, for example, the central bank, the Bank of Ghana, will be meeting the managing directors of some of the banks and the heads of, I think, the Forex Bureau associations for a series of discussions aimed at ensuring that the supply of Forex onto the Forex markets is stabilized and the overpricing is also halted, and that people who need access to Forex for legitimate transactions can get same without hindrance in the banking halls and at the Forex bureaus, as against on the black market or using some rates coming from some other quarters. They'll also be looking at, I think, some of the longer lasting measures to ensure that Forex trade is stabilized in this country, even as we expect a lot more inflow of Forex following the completion of the syndication of the Cocoa Board transaction. My understanding is that later this week as well, the economic management team, I think today, the economic management team is also meeting to apprise itself of the latest numbers as have been put together, and some of the recommendations as we get into the final part of the year. And then from Thursday, Cabinet itself will be meeting. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Cabinet itself will be meeting. The President will be in the chair to receive what has gone through the EMT, and also to receive the update from the IMF negotiations so that some decisions can be made. And then subsequently, he can then update the nation on the next steps forward. So just to give you a quick update.
Well, that was the update from the Information Minister, Kwawu Nkrumah. Meantime, global leaders in financial services and US firm JP Morgan has warned that the probable debt restructuring would further weaken the Ghana cedi. This is despite an increase in foreign exchange forward auction sizes. Here's a Business Desk report.
In its emerging market quick take on Ghana cedi's performance, it said the Bank of Ghana's decision to purchase dollars from mining and oil companies, inadvertently reducing forex availability within the interbank market, is one of the reasons behind the falling value of the cedi. Furthermore, this has resulted in a squeeze in the forex market, thus resulting in increased pressure on the dollar. Again, the central bank has not increased the size of its fortnight forex forward auctions, where it continues to sell $25 million. Continuing, the U.S. banking giant said the recent volatility of the cedi is mostly policy-driven. However, it stressed that a change in foreign exchange purchase policy could provide some near-term relief.
Well, joining us on Zoom is economist and senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Edu Susakwadia, to discuss the issues to do with the cedi. I want to first start, Edu Susakwadia, with JP Morgan laying part of the blame at the doorstep of the Bank of Ghana as far as the cedi depreciation is concerned. Forex forward auction not appearing to work, buying dollars from mining and oil and gas firms not working. Could the central bank do more?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm a lecturer at the Department of Economics. Without the Bank of Ghana's interventions, the cedi would have depreciated more than we see. And I think the economy would have weakened more than we see. And so I think that we should commend the Bank of Ghana for at least stepping up the efforts to play their role in stabilizing the economy. Yes, I agree with them that there are certain actions that the bank may have taken which may cause further weakening or maybe wouldn't have stabilized the economy. But I think the bank will not, the central bank will not take any action which will weaken the economy. They will not intentionally do that. If they have taken a decision which did not yield the needed results, then it doesn't mean that, they are not, in control of whatever they're doing. So I think that the central bank is doing their part, and I've made the point and I'm making it again, that things would have been worse than this without the bank's intervention. What is happening now is that there is a shortage of dollars or forex in the market. And there's every reason for the bank or the government in general to make sure that there's enough forex on the market. If somebody decides to buy dollars because of speculative, motive, I'm not sure the bank can really do much on or change the person's mind. Just that we have to be patriotic. The bank can also give a directive as to perhaps how much dollars can be sold at the counter, and they can also give another directive as to the sale of dollars for the importation of essential commodities. If certain commodities are not really relevant or not essential, then they should wait for the economy to stabilize. So in summary, I think the Bank of Ghana has done their part. And I'm sure.
Well, there are concerns that the central bank has not been strict enough, clamping down on the black market. I know that recently they started something of the sort, but people say it's been a long time in coming. The issues to do with overpricing on the black market at forex bureaus. Your thoughts?
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with those people who are raising those concerns that there's so many, weaknesses in the system, in the financial system, that I think the Bank of Ghana should step up their game to supervise it well and make, restrict certain activities. They are supposed to ensure that the movement of forex is in order with the objectives or the overall objectives of the economy. And let me give you a typical example. I have been told by a friend that some of the remittances that Ghanaians receive from abroad do not hit into the accounts of whether the commercial banks or the Bank of Ghana. And this practice can be, averted. The Bank of Ghana can really stop this kind of practice. And it's not something that should be encouraged in our economy. If somebody is sending a remittance to you, it must go through the banking system.
Right.
The overall objective is that the Bank of Ghana must be in control, total control of the flow of funds, whether inflow or outflow.
And we just had the information minister hint of a meeting the central bank would have with bank MDs and forex bureau operators. That's supposed to happen tomorrow. And, this is happening at a time where there's a lot of pressure on government to act. And somebody watching the interview commenting just a while ago, why is he talking about a meeting between the central bank and the forex bureau operators and bank MDs? What is government doing? It appears they do not have any ideas to run with.
But the central bank is part of government, isn't it? The governor was appointed by...
Well, on the monetary side, yes, the central bank has been doing much. People are saying the fiscal side, we're seeing nothing, and they expect that much from government.
Yes, I'm sure the fiscal part will be represented. I'm sure they will be represented because the monetary side and the fiscal side must always go hand in hand. One should not go and leave the other behind. So I agree with the person who sent the message that the two policies, the monetary policy and the fiscal policies, must go hand in hand. Each, part must know whatever the other party is doing, so that together they can stabilize the economy and move it forward. So I'm sure the Ministry of Finance, who is in charge of the fiscal policy, will be represented. Even if they are
But
not
hasn't that been long in coming? We've been at this for months. Doesn't it send a certain signal to investors that, we don't have a hang of the situation? Just asking.
Well, I'm not sure that is a signal that is sending. I'm sure maybe perhaps the government wants to have some concrete measures for mitigating the effect before the coming on board of the IMF. In any case, the government has already taken the step to seek help from the IMF. So it's not as if the government is sitting down there with arms folded without doing anything. They have already had almost finishing with the staff level arrangement with the IMF. So they are doing everything possible.
Okay.
And I think that we should calm the market. Now, I agree that the government should maybe come out more to engage with the stakeholders to calm the market. I think one of the reasons driving the cedi depreciation currently is the speculative motive of demand for dollars. I think we have to, Ghanaians must halt that because things will improve. Things will never always get worse like this. Things will improve. And when things improve, like cedi gains, well, then what are you going to do with the purchase of dollars that you've made? And so I think they should slow down with this speculative purchase of dollars. And I also agree that the government should step up the game and meet with the stakeholders, both the monetary side and the fiscal side, for all of us to resolve the issue. People like Buta, who trade with the currency day in, day out, they may have more ideas than even me talking here. So if the government meets such people, together with you, the media, engage with academia, I think that together we can all rebuild this economy. We need to rebuild the economy.
Yeah,
because,
and on the
yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say on the point of the IMF, there are also others who argue that the IMF is not the solution to the current crisis that we are facing. It may be for a while, but then would return to the same situation as we've seen over the years. And we had the information minister talk about the economic management team. Makes you wonder, what has the team been up to over time? But I want us to move on because the Kojo Nkrumah talked about a briefing that the president is going to have on the IMF negotiations so far. And I want to take us back to the JP Morgan report, which is concerned that a probable debt restructuring could further weaken the Ghana cedi. What do you make of that concern from JP Morgan?
Well, I'm not sure of the basis on which they made such a conclusion, because if you want a bailout or a support from the fund, IMF, and the IMF is asking you to restructure your debt because currently, Ghana's public debt is unsustainable, and something has to be done about it. So, if restructuring to defer interest payment, for example, to ask for a reduction in interest payment, or to ask for longer maturity period, will weaken the cedi. I'm not sure of that conclusion, but I think that whatever we have to do, we have to quickly get the fund on board. But the question of whether the fund will solve all our problems for us or not. The fund is not there to solve all your problems for you. The fund is there to give you stability. What you do with the stability is up to you. The fund will not come and say, for example, construct your road, do this or do that. So right now, we need that stability. See how the cedi is depreciating. We need to slow it down. Look at the inflation rate at almost 40%. We need to bring it down to single-digit levels. Interest rate is over 30%. We need to bring it down to perhaps single-digit again, or in tens, or maybe between 15 and 20. So that stability is needed for the economy now. And then from there, I think we all, the government and everybody must come on board for us to pick ourselves up and then move the country forward. Let me quickly.
We have 30 seconds if you do that.
Yes. Yeah. The natural resource, this country is not getting much from the natural resource. The IMF will not tell us to do that. We have to do that as a country. We have been talking about supply of dollars. If you have exported $8 billion from just gold and oil, and you are getting about $1.6 billion out of it, the remaining $6.4 billion going to the mining companies. This is a concern that we must address as a country, and I'm not sure the IMF will tell us to do that.
All right, Dr. Edo Susako, grateful to speak to you after a while. He's an economist, also a lecturer at the Department of Economics at the University of Ghana. Appreciate your time. Now, interest rates inched up to 33% following an increase in inflation rate in the month of September to 37.2%. Once again, the sale of treasury bills by government was undersubscribed for the second consecutive week by 16%. Charles Nixon-Yeboah has more.
.2%, and the rate of cedi depreciation, which is more than 50%. This means the real rate of return of the short-term securities for investors is still negative. Again, the lower yield of the treasury bills compared to the rate of inflation and the cedi depreciation rate makes it unattractive for investors to purchase the cedi-denominated assets. According to the auctioning results by the Bank of Ghana, the interest rate on the 91-day T-bills went up by 0.76% to 0.15%. That of the 182-day T-bill also hit 33.07% from 32.23% the previous week. The results also showed that the government secured a total of 1.31 billion cedis from the sale of the short-term instruments against a target of 1.56 billion cedis. Some market watchers may attribute the undersubscription of the financial instrument to liquidity challenges within the economy.
Joining us is Head of Trading with Republic Securities, Patrick Edem Agama, with the latest updates. Good afternoon to you. And so the cedi depreciation have a toll on the markets. Let's start with last Friday's treasury bill sale.
Well, good afternoon, Daryl. So last Friday, we saw the 91-day treasury bill clearing at 32.16, but as high as 32.69 were accepted. For the 182-day, it cleared at 33.08, but as high as 34.3% were accepted. Again, the 91-day treasury bill took about 87.2% of the total bids accepted against 12.8% for the 182-day treasury bill. There is some level of resistance at the short end of the curve. However, we still expect the trend to continue as investors are looking at the inflation and also targeting reaching that level.
And how is the current situation, I mean, with the cedi, with inflation, everything, impacting on the stock market too?
Well, on the stock markets, we are still highly offered. We see the offer side highly dominated, with less bids shown on the market. We are seeing only MTN and Bob, that's Best Oil Palm, seeing the level of bids rising against the offer that we are seeing on the market. Every other stock is showing very, very high level of offer side against the bid side, which is like very, very little.
And Patrick, what else are we watching this week?
Well, this week, the government is targeting 1.1 billion in the money market. So it will be spread between the 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day bill. So we expect investors to also partake in it. And if we get more information in the course of the week with regards to how the government is expecting to tackle the debt restructuring and everything, that could be a positive news for the market to get more confidence in the government and partake in this offer.
Thank you so much, Patrick Edem Agama, is Head of Trading at Republic Securities. Now let's turn to other stories for you. The price of cement has surged above 80 cedis a 50-kilogram bag as input costs of the manufacturers rise. This is about 10% increase over the last price adjustment in about 2 months. Now, checks by Joy Business at some retail centers indicate that the price of cement varies from 77 cedis to 83 cedis per 50-kilogram bag. Similarly, it varies among the various dealers, including Gasem and Diamond Cement. The increase in the prices of cement indicates that the cost of construction, particularly building and rent, will go up. Meantime, the Professional Glaziers Association of Ghana has served notice to lock up shops over what they describe as continuous outrageous price hikes of raw materials. In a demonstration, the group said prices of aluminum materials such as glasses keep increasing on daily basis. Materials sold at 480 cedis at the beginning of the year are currently sold at 1,000 cedis, affecting business growth. Here's more in this report.
Clad in red, the aluminium glaziers chanted in displeasure to the stifling production environment. Regional Secretary of the association, Sumaila Ibrahim Zaina, says price of glasses have increased astronomically. According to him, their businesses are on the verge of collapsing.
Glaziers! One, virtually every day, we experience increment in the price of our materials. What is happening? We've been calling on our suppliers on millions of occasions to come and have a meeting with us. Anytime you call them, it's with future. They don't honor the invitation. So we are here. We are by this press conference. We want to start the whole country and the government as a whole. There is for us to know the reason why there is the increment. We don't know what is happening. Our items are being manufactured here in this country, in Ghana here. But what increment? There's no any import duty. But every day, right now as we are speaking, you can call them for a price of an item. By the time you get there, they've increased it.
According to the artisans, the price increment has affected all 21 raw materials used in production. They can no longer work with estimates for clients. Chairman of the association says they are no longer buying raw materials for production until the situation improves.
From Monday till date, there has been about 5 times of increment, and it is really collapsing our businesses. We know for sure that our president is a listing government. It's a listing government, so we are looking up to him to come into our problem. Is to come into our problem, and then thereafter, if you don't hear anything from the president or the people in charge of authority, all what you sought to do is to go on demonstration. The prelims is right now. We want to stop buying from the suppliers and make some silent demonstrations, a sit-down strike for that matter.
Some aggrieved members expressed displeasure against importers and wholesalers over the continuous increment of goods.
Because the whole Ashanti region, masters here at 864. You drank almost 7,000 at Juma. Nasa di ya daddy egu na sankola we naswa be beje e de moment. Ti sana ban pedia, you betu sana mon e de aboa Ghana ban.
Mona Lisa Frempon reporting.
Well, the current economic crisis is having an impact on businesses, and as you see the aluminum glazers saying they're going to demonstrate, or actually they demonstrated, and they're going to lock up their shops. Now time for your money tips on Money Lab.
Hello there, and welcome to Money Lab. In this episode, we shall talk about personal budget and the need for you to create a personal budget. What is a personal budget? A personal budget is a tool that compares and tracks your income and expenses for a defined period. Though not an exciting exercise, creating a budget is an important aspect in keeping your finances in order. A personal budget helps you track how much you will spend and save each month. By following a budget, one is able to pay his bills, save for major expenses, and build an emergency fund. Overall, a budget puts you on a stronger financial footing. Thank you for joining us on Money Lab today. See you next time.
Our program this afternoon. Thanks for watching. There is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. You have that update there on how much the dollar is going for against the cedi. So $1 now goes for 15 cedis, 20 pesos. Rate of depreciation to pound, euro, expected to slow down. Also, debt restructuring to weaken cedi. BOG partly to blame for cedi's woes. That's according to JP Morgan. You can read more about that on myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Kwawu. We will be back same time tomorrow.